Good morning and welcome to the Retirement Railroad. Normally I'd say 2.0, but that's not the case today. Now, this is actually the racetrack edition. Yes, we are starting on the shed layout, and this is the introduction to such. So let's go ahead and look at the plans. Now, keep in mind, these are preliminary plans, very rough, all right? And while I love suggestions, this isn't the time, okay? Because it's preliminary, and it'll be at least a year before I start laying track. So I have the reasons why I want it this way. I'm going to stick to that for now. Anyway, with that in mind, let's go ahead and look at the existing shed. And here we go. This is the backyard, and you can see the shed there in the upper center. That shed is 16, it's 8 by 16, okay? 8 foot across, 16 long. The new shed will be 16 by 32, or 4 times as big as the shed picture, okay? And will take up a sizable portion of that picture that you're looking at right now. All right, before that can happen, the shed has to be cleaned out. All the yard stuff that's in there, all my existing train stuff that's in there, then it has to be demolished before I can start on the actual construction of the shed. Well, before I can demolish it, I got to empty it out, but I have to have somewhere to put the stuff that comes out of it. And that, of course, is the trailer I went and picked up in Tennessee here a couple weeks ago. And before I can load that up, I have a lot of modifications I have to make to it, as far as adding more cargo rails and J-hooks, etc., to hang up all the yard equipment and excess lumber, etc. So that is fully underway. Now, this whole process will be delayed. A week from tomorrow, I have a hip replacement, my right hip. So I'm going to be down and out for 6 to 8 weeks, I'm told, before I can do any more. But until that time, I fully plan on having the stuff in the trailer and put away. Okay? So, let's go back and look at the preliminary plan. All right, 16 by 32. This will be a walk-around layout. I can get more trackage in doing it in this manner, and have more versatility. I'll explain that here in a second. So the front is right here. I have 2 3-foot doors that'll open up. There'll be a 3.5 foot door back here. 3.5, a little over 3 foot walkway, 3 foot walkway, 2 foot, 2 foot, and the center area. 2 foot here for the Chicago Union Station operator. Here in this area will be both the Western Suburbs person will be working in this area, along with the Chicago Yard person. The Western Suburb person will actually be walking around. Okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at lower staging. This is lower staging, roughly 2 feet, maybe a little more off the ground. And this will be staging for Pincy, B&O, CNEI, Santa Fe, Rock Island, and any other railroad that went into Dearborn Street Station, LaSalle Street Station, Grand Central Station, Van Buren Street Station. Any of those will be on this staging area here. Okay, and basically what it is coming down from the Chicago level into staging, reverse loop back and back up, woo, and back up to the Chicago. So let's go ahead and take a look at Chicago. There's Chicago. Again, very, very, very preliminary. This area here is Union Station, along with freight, express freight over here. This area, and there's 6 tracks in the passenger tracks in the Union Station, and 2 for the fast freight. Okay, the 3rd track is the reverse loop coming off of the eastbound track going to the westbound track, with the center Zephyr track feeding into Union Station. Now over here is Dearborn Street Station, and there's 4 passenger tracks at Dearborn Street Station with a reversing loop around it as well. Okay? Comes around and goes through the helix and goes up to the 2nd scenic level, which is the western suburbs, coming up here. And it'll start out with Westmont, Downers Grove Fairview, Downers Grove Main, Lyle, Naperville, into the Eola yard, E-O-L-A, Eola, which is just east of Aurora, which will be down in this area. Okay, and there will be another helix going up, and that will go to the upper staging for the Burlington. Now, the whole idea here is I can run multiple, by having a walk around, I can do multiple railroads and run just about any railroad that went in or out of Chicago via Union Station or the South Side, utilizing Dearborn Street Station, and adds a whole lot more versatility. I wouldn't be able to do that if it was a perimeter layout, at least not in the fashion that I want to do it. Okay, so that is the plans for the railroad, and I've talked briefly about the plans for moving and demolition, etc., etc., etc. I have already started to move a lot of the packed up train stuff out of the trailer. I mean, not out of the trailer, into the garage from the shed. All right. A lot of this, all the engines and much of the better still boxed items, something like this, as an example, will go into the armoire over there. All the empty boxes will go up in the attic over there, and anything that's still boxed that I don't want to put anything up in the attic that will be heat sensitive. In other words, I don't want to put any of the models or anything up there. So they will go in the trailer. Only empty boxes will go up. And that's the basic plan. hope you enjoyed the new intro. And with that, stay tuned in the weeks to come. I do have my hip replacement surgery in a little over a week from tomorrow. And I've already started on the trailer. I've got to add racks to it, as I mentioned, and get it loaded up and the shed emptied out prior to that surgery, and I will be on track. I will be out of pocket for 6 to 8 weeks. I'll still be doing videos and so forth. I should have 2 or 3 in the hopper to get through the first few weeks of my recovery process, and we'll move on from there. With that, I want to thank you for joining me here at the Retirement Railroad Racetrack Edition. I'm Steve, and y'all have a great day. Bye now.